you have often said there are two types of memory, semantic memory and episodic memory. What is semantic memory? What is episodic memory? What are the differences between the two?
So it's not me. There are very smart guys who make this distinction, starting with Ender Tulving, who just died 2 weeks ago. So he was the first one who did a big change and perspective. It said, okay, memories are too vague. Let's just try to classify it. This is the divide and impera approach in neuroscience. There are lots of things that I don't even notice, but I know. I can sit here and I don't even remind myself, why I'm standing, why I'm sitting upright, or how to ride a bicycle, or how to walk in high heel shoes, and so on. So they said this is non-conscious. But the other type is called declarative memories. Declarative memories are the ones that I can declare verbally to you. That is based on language, right? And they said, oh, there are two types of this. One is, they call it semantic knowledge. The other one is episodic information. Now, our contribution to that is to see how one relates to the other. But the idea is this, that when I learn something about an episode happens in space and time. So it evolves like the trajectory. And it's my own experience. I have what it's called autonoetic. I feel that I'm part of it. I had a birthday party and I can feel that I was there. If you don't have the hippocampus, for example, you can say a lot of things about your birthday party, but you don't put your agency in there because that feeling is missing. Now, once you have your agency there, then you move through space and time and said, oh, this is what happened. Now, if you have another experience and another experience, another experience, and there are certain things that are common through these many experiences, then you have a node. That is, you have something that is independent where you came from, independent how you approached it, and it becomes like an XY intersection in a map. That's called place cells. But the place cells are exactly the kind of thing that we call semantic knowledge. You basically, through these multiple experiences, you throw away a lot of things, how you got there. You just extract the common thing that I can convey to somebody else. And, this is a cup. And the cup is independent of me. I don't have my personal experience, even though I had this. So every animal generates this abstract knowledge or this semantic knowledge through personal experiences. So egocentric to allocentric. The funny thing in humans is that you can shovel knowledge into the brain without your own experiences because we have language. All you need is a agent, your teacher, your parent, and so on, who tells you that this is a Lego. And you have no idea what Lego means. You don't know either, probably, LEG or how it came about, but it's a name. Or is that USB stick? You know the utility of it and so on. So this is a interesting thing that now in humans you can put a lot of knowledge through learning. You can lead the multiplication table, lots of things that they don't necessarily make sense, but you can learn it, you pass the examinations, and you maybe even use it, maybe useful one way or another in your life. The problem, or not the problem, but the interesting thing, of course, is that because you don't know how you acquire that knowledge, you don't verify it. So I have a lot of ideas in my brain that I learned from others because it was put in my brain, and it takes me a long time to think about whether it was right or wrong. Now, so that's an interesting aspect of it. From my point of view, from the inside out of approach, this is a huge problem. That description of this simple thing, memory, is based on human language, because I'm working with rodents. How on earth I can verify about an episodic memory, where the real test, the acid test of episodic memories, is free recall. You will remember and tell me what you remembered, but this little mouse doesn't tell me anything. So maybe it's not the right approach. And what we think about, we talk about different types of memories. I call single utility memory and multiple utility memory. A good example of a single utility memory, some people call it short-term memory, scratchpad memory, working memory, and so on. But in neuroscience, it has a little problem, because how long is a working memory last? And so, for example, when you go to a hotel and then you ask for the password, you memorize the password, and it's so useful as long as you're in your hotel. The moment you leave, that knowledge is gone. And it's not short, because you'd stay 2-3 days. But that is, for me, a single utility memory. Whereas other things that you learn should be or could be useful for the future life, this is a multiple utility memory. So this is classification from memory from the action point of view. Now, the other interesting thing is that memory, to you and to everybody, is something about what happened in the past. But we also have things about now, which is perception, and something about the future, and we give names such as imagination or planning. And we have discretized these words in English, and memory and planning and imaginations are so different from each other that they have to have different mechanisms in the brain because they sound differently. But in fact, they are not. If you look at the brain and you look at what does the hippocampus do when you recall, or what parts of the brain work together when you recall something, or you imagine something, or you plan something, it's the same. The same exact structures are involved. Now, if you play tricks with let's say, Latin words, then you say the future is prediction. The past is post-diction. Then it's not so different anymore. Yeah. So what makes it so different is our preconceived ideas. So this is the new kind of thinking in the field of memory, is that it is a continuum. When I look at the how in a single theta cycle, that I mentioned this oscillation theta, it's only 100 milliseconds. I cannot tell you which is the past and which is the future, because it's a continuum. The animal perceives a segment of the world starting from behind and goes to forward. It's a segment, and you move forward, and in these segments move together. So there is no millisecond, microsecond, anything that say this is the present, this is the past, and this is the future. Therefore, you have to think seriously about whether the ideas of separating memory and planning are justifiable.